Greetings. Manishma. Ohio gozaimasu. There's a very large storm system creating turbulence and clouds to the south of me right now. It's pretty amazing to witness on this side of it. Hope it's not causing too much detriment to any good folks. One thing about having cancer, people give you permission to sit and just be. And it's kind of a shame that I didn't pick this practice up before all of this happened. Now, I'm not really seeking pity because I consider myself exceptionally fortunate at this point. I made it through chemo and radiation. And honestly, I haven't felt healthier in all of my life. I've been eating better, exercising. I drink far less, which have all been very positive things. I think for creative people specifically, it's really important to set aside time to just sit and be with your thoughts. And this is not something I came up with. Most of the biographical work and work on creative process that have crossed my path, I'm thinking of On Craft and Poetry by Theodore Retke. There are elements in various autobiographical and process works by Yeats, reading the biographies of Lorca. There's something really important about just being able to sit with your thoughts and to pass them through the tumbler. And I've made the mistake of confusing the elation of the creative process with representing the quality of the work. And that is something that you can kind of witness if you have followed any poetry hashtags on any of the social media platforms. And sadly, it seems to be something that's permeated a lot of what is being passed off as poetry. And it's very apparent when you look at kind of the bestseller list for poetry in the United States. Unfortunately for me, it doesn't seem like the market is quite capable of cultivating high art. And so there are several elements that are kind of working against us. It's the taste of the general public. It's the amount of effort that actually is involved in being creative. And it's the tariffs that we pay for diligence and dedication to honing our crafts, be it literary, poetic, visual. I mean, Yeats was admitting in several of his letters that he would spend weeks revising his poetry, and to the point of starvation, migraine headaches. And when I view what makes it into some literary publications, and when I view the blowback against what is perceived pretentiousness of academic criticism for poetry, I would say that it's worth the extra effort. It's worth not being understood in order to really pour yourself into a work that ought to stand alone and separate from yourself on its own. It's as if you're nurturing a fledgling, and then you take it to a cliff and toss it off and hope like hell that it can fly. Otherwise, it ends up among the rocks. And I guess all of that is to say that Rotvrier poetry, in my mind, is a return to diligence, a return to truly mastering the understanding of language, how it operates cognitively, how it operates sonically, how it looks architecturally on the page when you have an XY plane that you're working with. I mean, word processors are great, but you can then manipulate on multiple levels, and that's great, and I'm sure there are people doing really interesting things with that. A typewriter that's mechanical forces the writer to know how to spell, to be intentional enough with the keystrokes so that you can create gradients between the impression of the ink stamp in the page, and you can make all of that work. I've found myself obsessing over spacing, and there's some enjoyment there for me. Whether or not anyone really picks up on it or cares, it's not really my concern. I think that process-driven art will always be superior to formulaic stuff. And I guess with that said, in all of your creative pursuits, I hope you grow and learn and have fun with it, but also lean hard into attempting to master it. And because that's a very fertile ground, and it's worth more than recognition and attention and short-term acknowledgement from the phantom limb of the zeitgeist, whatever it is. Have a good day.